I sometimes make myself laugh thinking about how, on a financial level, when you truly accept being creative, really creative, it's not about being sincere. I hate that word. Sincerity is a trap. One day I should write about that. It's not about sincerity, it's about being incorruptible to your own conscience. Respecting your conscience at all costs, knowing full well it doesn't make you money, at least not under the same laws everyone else follows. Marketing, selling, convincing, trying to convince, trying to embellish, is a way of betraying the classic laws of how money flows. It's stepping out of the current, it's choosing to be your own movement, and the mind immediately jumps in to calculate, how will I make money doing this? How could it happen? You start imagining scenarios. You write an ebook, maybe a publisher finds it, maybe things work out and you live decently, but that's all thought. Someone who is truly creative becomes incorruptible in their actions. They respect their conscience without calculating. They don't ask, how much will it bring in? Will it please or not please? They've moved past their earlier mistakes, the imperfect work, the wrong form, the immature energy, and they know their work still needs to rise, to elevate. Before you reach that point, you go through steps, but once your work is good, once it's pure, the hardest part begins, because from then on everything else is manipulation, thinking. The real challenge is being 100% focused on the work, on your will, on your consciousness, without letting anything else interfere, not worrying about the weather, about bills, about whether you'll have enough money, whether your car will break down, whether unexpected expenses will hit you. We underestimate how much these energies erode us. But from the moment you perfectly respect your will, even though at first it's not yet full will, not yet embodied, you start forming something real. At first, the will has no body. It's still energy, like an etheric double without form. It's abstract. It goes in all directions. It's not integrated. Fear, anger, chaos still block it. You suffer, you eat dust. But no matter how much dust you eat, the moment you become unshakable in spirit, you stop giving in to fear. Anxiety about rent, about survival still comes, but you begin to see through it. Even if catastrophe hits, even if you end up sleeping in your car, the mind stays unshakable. We don't see how temporary these storms are. We call it failure. We sink into reflection and personality. But it's all still outside the spirit. We don't see that forces use this very necessity, this struggle, to build the body of will, the body of light, the Morontial body. Call it whatever you want. It's the will that's forming. Intelligence is there too, but will is the core. It frustrates me that I can't describe this better. I perceive the nature of this will, but words are far from what I see. Sometimes it feels like a cosmic being acts through you, speaks through you, pushes you. But as long as you're incorruptible in your conscience, unshakable in your spirit, the path is always right. It's unique. It's not influenced by desire or by the laws of this world. It's your path, and it fits you perfectly, even when you don't see it, because it's you. This incorruptibility knows infinitely more than the mind. It's outside time. We like to say outside time to sound enlightened, to show off, to believe we're supramental. But if it's really outside time, it already knows what you are. You don't know it yet because you're in time. But when you're incorruptible, you channel that energy from beyond time. It will manifest your real will, flawless, atom by atom, down to what you absolutely want, who you really are. Of course, thought will doubt. You'll get anxious, act from anxiety, make mistakes. Current desires will be satisfied, but your absolute will won't. Those are obligatory mistakes. Even if I sound convincing or inspiring, people listening to me will still need to be reconvinced later. Doubt will come back. It's like feeding someone who doesn't yet know how to fish. You support them for a while, but you can't teach them to swim. That's a myth, by the way. All the coaching, the marketing about teaching you how to fish instead of giving you the fish, it's a narrative. You can't teach someone how to make money or how to swim. You only learn when you're drowning. When you finally understand no one will hold you up forever, that's when you learn. You have to drink deeply from it. You have to face the immense energy that comes with the fear of dying. It is in that raw moment when you are drowning that the survival impulse returns as a surge of power that keeps you afloat. At first, you barely manage to stay above the surface. Panic sets in, your head sinks, you struggle back up, you gasp for air, then you sink again. You are unstable because the body of will has not yet been formed. This body learns from experience, learns by watching humans drown, learns in the subtle etheric dimensions, and only once this will body is built can it truly swim. If you are not incorruptible in conscience, not unshakable in spirit, then you are cut off from the one who already knows how to swim. That higher self has already learned. It has learned how to remain free, untouched by guilt, anxiety, and the endless chatter of the mind that insists, yes, but my situation is different. Yes, but you don't understand. Yes, but it's not the same for me. I have heard this my entire life. Voices claiming it is easy for others, impossible for them. But the truth is simple. Your strength is still untamed, and as long as it is untamed, it rules over you. Even I saying this must fight. I don't escape anxiety, but I refuse to yield. My income for the last 2 months has been zero. I have rent to pay. I live in an apartment, and somehow, by a chain of impossibilities, it managed to pay for itself. I don't even want to look at how, and yet I am still here. I am not dead. I have survived this far. So when I say, remain focused on your mind, on your creativity, on the act itself, regardless of whether it makes money, it is not theory. It is survival. The mind will protest. Wasn't it hard? Haven't you suffered? Don't you see how unfair it is? But the real question is, right now, in this very moment, how do you feel? What is the state of your body, of your mind? Right now, the past is memory. Its weight exists only because you continue to carry it. If the memory has no hold, then the suffering is gone. But rebellion will still come. It has to. First we attack the small demons, then the circumstances, and finally we rage against the cosmos itself, against the formless, against the absolute. That anger is part of the process. It fractures the old structures so that new energy can descend. It is inevitable to eat dust, to rage, to collapse into ignorance. Knowledge does not appear as a vision. It passes silently, breaking the ego down until nothing is left but will. This is where the paradox shows itself. When you rebel, even against the cosmos, the act of rebellion has already been allowed by the very force you rebel against. If you rage for freedom, that rage itself was woven into you by the Absolute. And so the anger changes form. It ceases to be emotional. It becomes vibrational. It becomes silent. It is no longer about words or accusations or memory. It is a vibration that burns simply by looking directly at what is unseen. This is how the will descends. When the individual looks, not with thought, not with memory, but with pure vibration, the universal energy takes on direction. It becomes will only when embodied, only when a human consciousness receives it and reflects it back. Before that, it is diffuse, unformed, unconscious. But the act of looking gives it purpose. It is like drowning again and again until you finally realize, if you stop struggling, you float. The air already in your lungs keeps you above water. The waves push you down for a moment, but they always release you back up. And so you learn, if you do not exhaust yourself in panic, you survive. You wait, you breathe, you endure, and you rise again. This is not metaphor alone, it is principle. Struggle drains energy, stillness preserves it. Waiting in consciousness reveals that the will already sustains you.